welcome back to a little channel we like to call
Roll with the Troll.
Now, today we are going to be rolling, and we're going to be trolling on
all of it.
The Karate, yeah, everything on the Karate Kid. Now, listen, back in '84, Daniel LaRusso was, he was a beloved character, wasn't he?
He was, yep.
And even in '86, when we came out with Karate Kid Part 2, I think most of us really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
Karate Kid 3, he started pissing people off a little bit.
Even Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, even Mr. Miyagi. Even Mr. Miyagi was like, oh, Daniel's son.
The unflappable Mr. Miyagi.
Wouldn't it have been great if Pat Morita somewhere just threw in a line where he goes, maybe 3 movies too much?
Yeah.
Something to just really hit him.
JC Penney, $2.99.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of started getting a little bit pissed off with him. I still always like the character a lot. I like that he seems like a regular guy, that they don't try to give airs and try to make him seem like a wonderful kid. All right, but as an adult, he's really pissing people off, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of bad things, and I'm starting to just wonder, are we at a point after season 4 where maybe just the Karate Kid is just a miserable jackass as an adult? Should we accept that? Is that where we are?
Anything is possible.
Well, or is he maybe kind of still in some gray territory where, we're 4 seasons in now on Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, 4 seasons in, we got 40 episodes under our belt.
Has there been any growth?
See,
as a person?
That's a difficult, well, see, I'll tell you this, before we really get into this, can I just preface everyone by saying that my imagination always had Daniel growing up to be very much like Mr. Miyagi, very much. To be this spiritual guy, he's very into like the wilderness, disconnected from the typical like pop culture and stuff we're doing right now. He wouldn't go to YouTube,
Yeah.
He wouldn't do things like this. That was the Daniel LaRusso that I had in mind for the future. So when Cobra Kai was coming out for season 1, and they were running these ads where he's like running a car dealership and cracking dumb jokes with his friends and he's busting balls, I just thought, yeah, really? That's Daniel LaRusso. He's got like a regular wife as opposed to someone more like Kumiko.
Yeah.
He's got a typical American wife as opposed to someone more spiritual, more kind of connected. I really was surprised that that's where they wanted to take him.
Yeah.
And make him such a regular guy watching sports, drinking beer. But okay, I'm like, that's fine. So he's a regular American guy. I thought he was going to embrace more of Miyagi's culture and just be more of a kind of self-contained guy like Miyagi is.
Yeah. Well, I think he definitely has embraced Mr. Miyagi's culture. It's just he's never gotten over his hot-headedness. And if I remember correctly, I think that was one of Ralph Macchio's complaints or concerns when he did Karate Kid 3, actually, was he looked at that script and he was like, wow, really? Because Daniel is not growing at all. He's not learning any lessons. Because in Karate Kid 3, he just really goes off the rails with anger and impulsiveness and things like that. And I think that was his criticism of that script, was the character wasn't really growing or improving as a person as he matured. So I see a little bit of that, well, a lot of that really with adult Daniel. But
isn't it surprising that he the actor, Ralph Macchio, loves this show.
Yeah.
Loves the character, loves what's going on. And yet, like you just said, he was very disappointed in his character's lack of growth in Karate Kid Part 3.
Yeah.
And I just think that's odd. Like, you were mad that back then you didn't grow, like right after Karate Kid Part 2, but now in Cobra Kai, you're comfortable just being a prick?
And I think that contributed to him not wanting to do Karate Kid 4. I can't do another movie where I'm still the same dumbass that I was, in Karate Kid 1.
Well, technically, they never asked him. That's the honest truth.
Oh.
But to be fair, he had already put it out. It's kind of like Who Broke Up With Who. He had already been saying after Karate Kid 3, like, I don't know that I'd want to do a Karate Kid 4. I don't think I'd be interested. So he'd put that out enough, and I think he was pissing everybody off. And remember, Karate Kid Part 3, by the way, Macchio, the original idea they had where they were going to go back in time and he was going to play a different character. Yeah. He told them, thank God, he put the kibosh and just said, fuck, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, good move. So I think they already were creatively, at odds with him. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's odd that all these years later, he's comfortable playing Daniel this way, because this is a very different Daniel than I think you'd expect if he's going to have growth, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can always look at people and you can still, like I still feel like there are certain things about me that are very much the same as they were when I was a young adult. And, some things don't change, but we do grow and mature, and we get smarter about things. And some of the things that Daniel has done have just been, he's just been a big jackass about things.
Let's talk about a couple of those things for a little bit. I think most notably in seasons 1 and 4, to me, were the times that you could really go, really, fucker? You piece of... Like in season 1, a lot of people, I remember this was kind of trending online, is Daniel the villain in Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
People who weren't watching, because remember back then, it was on YouTube Red. Most people didn't have that and want to get into it. So there was more talk about Cobra Kai back then than there was watching it.
Yeah,
we watched it from the second it came out. Literally, we couldn't wait. Yeah, but once we everybody around me was just asking me, is it good? Is it cool? What's it about? And the vibe then was, is Daniel the villain? And it was kind of sold that he might be something of a villain in this, that it's a role reversal, right? And the creators were kind of saying that.
Yeah.
And I think in season 1, depending on how sensitive you are, you can make that argument. I don't really see it that way. Mm-hmm. But I think Daniel, he's always been very conclusion jumping. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about him I really don't like. He's one of these guys who thinks that the world is very simple and very black and white and very traditional in every way. And so therefore, I got this. He's one of those guys. I got this. I know all about, I already know about that guy. I met him for 2 seconds. I know all about him. He's he's in Cobra Kai. He's an asshole.
Right.
Daniel's one of these guys in every way. And that's so not what Mr. Miyagi ever taught.
Yeah.
If Mr. Miyagi felt that way, he would have never trained Daniel's dumb ass in the first place.
How true.
Remember that? He would have stuck to his guns on the no, best not get involved.
Yeah.
I loved that. Mr. Miyagi, by the way, let's go back to that real quick. In the first film, when Mr. Miyagi beat the piss out of all 5 of Johnny and then the little clan there, the Cobra Kais, to save Daniel, then he suggests that Daniel goes down and talks to them, whatever, and then when Daniel says, "Will you come with me?" Mr. Miyagi says, "It's best I don't get involved."
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, "You're already involved."
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't mean to digress so much. Yeah, I think as an adult here, season 1 really showed him doing some things that a lot of people were pissed off about. Me, not so much. I kind of felt like, aside from the conclusion jumping, a lot of his things were fairly legit. Like I didn't mind when he got Johnny's rent doubled.
Oh, see, now that's my prime example of when he was at his biggest jackassery.
No, not to me. To me, that's a valid business move.
No.
You go to look, Daniel didn't raise the rent. Okay, the Armand raised the rent. All Daniel did, if let me put it this way. If someone comes up to me and is like, it'd be funny, you should shoot that guy in the knee. And then I go and do it. I'm the guy. Blame me. Don't blame the guy who came up to me and told me to do it. Blame Armand. And Armand wasn't even getting market value anyway. Remember that?
I do.
This was well explained.
Made a big deal about that.
A very big deal about it. So in that case, well, then Johnny was just getting a deal that eventually, before long, had to go away anyway. So come on, let's be fair. So I don't blame Daniel so much for that one. I just blame Daniel more for he kept jumping to conclusions. All Kyler had to tell him in season 1, and the second episode, I think, all Kyler had to tell him was that this old homeless looking guy busted out some karate, and that was enough for Daniel to go right down to the dojo and confront Johnny and jump to conclusions all over the place.
Impulsive, hot-headed.
Yeah, what a shit move. That was not cool at all. Mr. Miyagi would not have been proud of that, would he?
No. Oh no, he wouldn't have supported that at all.
Yeah,
Daniel's son, and he would have talked Daniel through it. Let's think this through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So that was one of the first things that he did to be a total ass. And that was literally in the second episode of the whole show. And then throughout season 1, he really, I know Johnny drew a dick on his face. The guy drew a dick on my face. Johnny drew a dick on his face. So that's that's pretty bad. But again, what happened by then? Daniel had already fucked with him a bit,
Yeah.
So I do feel like Daniel started this. And in season 4, Daniel treated him like garbage. After the water was under the bridge, these guys were cool. They were getting along, And Daniel had the balls to just treat. Remember when he yelled at Johnny for getting there early at their dojo, the MIYAGI-Do.
Their combined dojo.
Yeah, combined dojo. He yelled at Johnny for getting there early to do some work on that sparring deck.
Yeah.
He's like, God damn it, I was going to do a thing here.
You blew my whole week lesson.
Yeah, what an ass. Like, I know that they kind of played that more for the laughs, that it was funny that Daniel was going to make everything a lesson.
Yeah.
But he was always yelling at Johnny and really condescending to him. And I felt like after all they'd been through where they were kind of both at fault, that, Daniel's coming across like a dick. Johnny's actually being the bigger man. Yeah. The alcoholic. Yeah. The absentee father.
He got there early and put in the work and was doing it to further their dojo. And, and he's got the skills and he was so proud of himself. And then Daniel just shit all over it. Yeah.
And Daniel just really was so out of control with him in season 4. And then the worst was when they went for those drinks after they saw Terry Silver. Yeah. And like the middle of the season, episode 6, I think, and season 4. And then Daniel says to him, we've got to do this the right way. So I'm taking over the kids' lessons. I'm like, who the fuck are you, LaRusso? You're just out of control.
That's hubris.
That is just, what an ass. So anyway, guys, look, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Are we at a point now where the Karate Kid, and those of you who are old enough, if you can remember, we thought Daniel was awesome back then. You know, when we were kids, we were like, fuck yeah. I loved when I was a little kid and Daniel took all 5 of his bullies and whipped their ass one at a time at that tournament. Yeah. I loved that back then. I was this little kid just watching this kid who was new to karate and who just took him down one by one. Dutch was so pissed. Bobby was fucking, I mean, he dismantled them one by one by one. It was amazing. And then at the end, he beats Johnny. And it's like, and he takes the fucking trophy, and then he gets the girl. Everything's great. Yeah. And I just thought that is the way. That is how winning is done, my friend. All these years later, to look at him and go, yeah, that was his shining moment. You know, the cringe moments. I'll give you one more before we wrap up. Season 4, also, when he yells at that obnoxious kid, Anthony, and Daniel says, "Oh, why don't you just go back to your video games?"
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking.
That's not how you parent. I mean, at this point, Johnny was almost a better dad for disappearing.
Oh my God!
than for doing what you're doing, Daniel. Daniel's Daniel's parenting is so off. It's just so fucked up with Anthony and with Sam. He acts like Sam does nothing wrong ever.
Oh yeah,
Sam does everything wrong. Yeah, yeah. She's his little princess.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess this show does definitely point out that no matter what, parenting is hard.
Yeah. Well, look,
did a lot of things wrong.
I would like to see Daniel become a better guy as this show goes on. In fact, I'd like to see him actually sell the dealership and actually just fully embrace Miyagi's teachings, like firmly in his life, and to kind of get out of some of the bullshit that he's into, because he's arrogant and he's really caught up in this world of arrogance. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comments. What did you think of this video? Like it, subscribe, click the bell and all that shit. We've got like a bazillion more videos coming up throughout the summer as we build up to Cobra Kai Season 5. Don't we, Voice of Reason?
We sure do.
They're going to be a blast. So let us know in the comments. What do you think? I really want to open this up. Thank you all so much for the support.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, if you could. And then we'll see you tomorrow for another video.